this is Danitysimmer and we are back with another video, and this time we are working on notifications / loot actions. In the previous video I showed you guys the tools that I use, and I also showed you how to make buffs. So today we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be working on two things, mainly because notifications does not take that long to do, and it kind of links into loot actions, which I'm sure you guys are ready to get started on. So what exactly are loot actions? So you can consider loot actions the results of an interaction. For example, so last week we created a buff, and then I showed you guys in game when my sim was flirty and used like a flirty interaction, they get that buff. That's basically what a loot action is. So you do an interaction, you get results. That's the way it's always worked in Sims, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. There's so many loot actions out there, it's impossible to show you everything. So I would advise you guys after this video to explore loot actions, and I will show you the first part like before in Mod Constructor, and then I'm going to show you in the Lot 51 website, and then I'm going to continue showing you guys in the Lot 51 website because I've used that more to make loot actions than I have Mod Constructor, but I'll still show you guys how it's done. Right, so let's move on to the Mod Constructor. We are back in Mod Constructor 5, and we are in the buff that we made last week. So I'm going to show you guys how to make a loot action or a notification first. In Mod Constructor, you can do both at the same time. You can do it also in Lot 51, but you can also, I'll show you guys later. So Mod Constructor, you go to add element, and then you go to show all, and then you go to loot action. So here, there's no notification on its own. It has to be in the loot action. So you just call it what you want. For example, flirty notification. Let me just move that out of the way. Where can I move it to? Okay, right, there we go. Right, so you will see this, and this is what you need to do. So you go to add condition groups, you have that always run, and then you right click and you go to add action. Okay, and then you go to this wheel here and you select what action you want to do. So for us, we want to do the notification, so select that, and then you choose notification. So these three options, notifications is just the normal notifications on the side. The dialogue is the one where a sim, the target sim, is basically like maybe like a text. For example, you know, when in the game when someone's gone on a date and they message you, be like, oh, the date with this person went great, and then you have at the bottom, okay. That's the dialogue. And then yes or no, it's literally, it has the option. Think of it as an invitation. You know, when you get invited, when your sim gets invited somewhere, and you can be like, yeah, sure, I'm on my way. Or you be like, oh, no, not right now. That is what this is. Okay, so that is what that is. And then obviously you can create loot actions for when the person says no. And you can create loot actions for when the person says yes, or you can just browse for whatever loot action that's already in game. But this is a bit more good. Let me open it back. So what we're looking for right now is just notification. So title is optional. I usually don't put a title in my notification, and the text is obviously what you want the notifications to say. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to copy this so you guys can see what it looks like in game, but obviously you have a more detailed notification. The primary icon is the icon that shows on the left at the top. So that can be a participant, so that can be a target sim. So you go here and you can select target sim. You can select a lot, but you can select target sim, or you can select actor, which is your main sim. So you can select target sim and you go select, and then the primary icon is the one at the bottom. So that can be the same as well. And this time you can select actor. And then what you can also do is you can just standard where you have a picture instead. So if you want a picture to show at the top left of notification, let's use a picture. Let's use this. See. So like we did before, they've got options, but you don't really need it. Notifications and headlines use the same picture, so you can select that. And literally that's it. That's a notification, nothing else. obviously for me to show in game, you need to export it and then add it to an interaction, which I'm going to show you guys how to do. Another thing I'm going to show you guys is I'm going to show you guys how to also have the buff show like I did in game. So add condition group, always run, right click, add action, and then go to buff, add buff, and then you can select a buff that you've made already, like so. You can select a buff in game if you wanted to, but we're going to select the buff we made already, and then you're going to give a reason. So when I talk about buff reasons, they mean this at the bottom that says from joining. This is obviously my SPA mod, but you can put what you want. There's so many different things you can put if you wanted to. Let me see if I can find another one. Here we go. That's for my family recipe mod as well, from sharing the family recipes. So that's what they mean by buff reasons. So you put it here. It can be from being flirty with partner. And obviously the person that's gonna get that is the actor, not the target sim, so the actor sim. Okay, so now we have done the buff and we have also done the notification. So we're gonna export it now. I'm gonna call it something, I'm gonna call it the same so we can see what it looks like. So we're gonna save it, replace it. Okay, yep, that's because we use the Lumpino mood pack, remember guys, from the previous episode. Right, now let's go to Sims 4 Studio. Okay, so we're gonna open it. There is our notification, loot action. That is the icon we chose, the heart icon. As you guys can see, it's not on here because it's not one that we changed. This one's on here because we obviously changed it. That one's not on there because it's already in game, so you don't have to worry about that. So like we said, secondary icon, it's the actor, sim number 1. This is the text that we wrote, is the exact same as this one. Yeah, there we go, buff description. Okay, so, and obviously we've also put the buff here as well, so that they will get this buff when they do this loot action. So the buff does need to be in the package as well, unless obviously it's one from game. If it's one from game, it doesn't need to be in here, but if it's a custom buff, it has to be in your package file. So that's the buff type, and then the buff reason is literally what we just wrote. The buff type is obviously your tuning ID, so you have to make sure it's the same. And then is blacklist here. So basically what this means is that if a sim already has this buff, don't give it to them again. So that's what the test is. So it will test to see if your sim has this buff already. If they do, they won't give them this buff, so you don't have the same buff twice in your screen, on your screen. Okay, and that's literally it. That is your loot action with notification created, notifications and buff created. Now I'm going to show you guys how you can add it in game. So you can make your own social interaction, which I'll show you guys how to do in the next video. But what I'm going to show you guys is how to add this into the social reaction. So we're going to just get one from the game. Let me see if I can get the flirty one again. So this is the be flirty with sim kind of thing, romance interaction. So I'm going to add that into the current package. I'm not going to change the name or anything because I'm just using this for testing. But if you were going to use your own, please make sure you change the tuning ID, the name, and the instance code. I showed you guys how to do that in the previous episode. But for now, I'm just going to show you guys how you can add this loot action into an interaction. So to add a loot action to a social mixer interaction, which is what this is, it's different from any other interaction. I'm going to show you guys in a bit. So you go to where the loot actions are, which is here. Yeah, it's here. So this is all the loot. Like I said, loot action is always in outcome, guys. No matter which interaction it is always usually in the outcome. So this is, just ignore this for now. You don't really need to know what it means yet. So this is all the loot actions that your sim gets when they do the flirty interaction. So it can be your sim or it can be a target sim. So there's one for if the interaction is successful, and there's one for if the interaction fails the way you know is usually by the animation. So you can see here, fail. So that usually means, oh, if you wanted to make a loop action for someone that gets like a uncomfortable from flirting with someone and fails, you can make it and then you put a loop action here just at the bottom. But this one that we've made, it's for one that succeeded. So let me see if I can find it. Yes, it's this one. Let me just double check to make sure. Yep. So succeed. That's the one. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to get the tuning ID here, copy it, go back to where we were, loop action. Yep. And then we just paste it and then make sure you close all the tags, guys. And that's it. I think there's two succeed. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, there's another one here. So I always add it in both. If you wanted to make a comment yourself, it's just literally that, and then whatever you want to put, blah, 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 and then close. Obviously, you can put the name of the package file, and then you save, and that's it. Now, if you were to go into game and you were to use the flirt interaction, you would get this notification and this buff. So I'm going to show you guys quickly what it looks like in game. Okay, so we are in game and we have my little test dummies here. And then even though these two are married, they absolutely hate each other. They have like a love-hate relationship thing going on. So I'm just going to cheat their romance because that's the only way this will work. Right, okay, now let's be flirty, please. Where is flirt? There we go. As you guys can see, we now got our buff. So and you've got the buff reason at the bottom there, even though I didn't close the bracket, which I should have. And then the notification also popped up on the side, and you've got the secondary icon, and then you've got the primary icon here. Let me just get rid of this wicked whims, this stuff here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyways, so yeah, that is literally loop action. Now I'm going to show you guys how you can put loop actions on the computer as well as on the phone. I probably won't show it in game because you would need to do the XML injector, which I have not shown you guys how to do. So do you know what? Let's do a little XML injector tutorial as well. Okay, so we have just seen what this looks like in game, and the only reason why we could see it in game is because this is an interaction that's already in game. If you were to create your own interaction, like a computer interaction or a phone interaction or even a social interaction, it won't show in game unless you either use a script file or you use an injector. I use the XML injector, but I also know that Lot 51 has their own injector, which I haven't used yet, so I can't show you guys how to use that one. But I'm going to show you guys quickly what the XML injector looks like first, and then I'm going to break it down for you guys. So this tutorial is also for XML injector. So we are back in Sims 4 Studio, and I am on my fashion designer active mod, and I'm going to show you guys the XML injector. So this is an injector for social interactions. Yes, this is an injector for social interactions. This is an injector for phone interactions. As you guys can see, add interactions to phones. This is an injector for computer interaction. This is all the interactions on the computer, and these are the computers that are in game as far as I can remember. I don't think I've missed any, but this is all the computers in game. Any new ones, I'm going to add it at the bottom. And this injector, is for an object. So the object of choice here is the camera and the photo studio. So if you were to add, for example, my fashion student mod, there's an interaction with the video station where you can do a live stream. If you were to do that, you will have to get the object ID, put it here, and then put the interaction here. So that's how you do it for objects as well. So like I said, for any interactions to work in your game or to work for your mod, you need an XML injector. I believe I touched on it in the first video. I believe I touched on it very briefly in the first video, but this is basically an injector. You can download it from the ScumBumble website, and it comes with a PDF in regards to how it can be used. I mainly use it for literally social interactions and object interactions. I haven't used it for anything else. That's a lie. I used it for putting reward traits in the trait column for my fashion student. Let me show you guys quickly. Okay, so this is the full on XML injector in my fashion student mod, not the active one, the student one. This is the computer interaction, and you guys can see, unlike the other one, it only has one ID, and that's because this ID is for locked computers. So if you were to lock a computer, your sim will still be able to do this. So I'm going to update this so that it only shows on computers that are unlocked. The reason why I only used one code is because it's the same universal. So if they were to add a new computer in game, I won't need to put a new code. But it kind of, I don't like the fact that it's on locked computers, because it means your sim can still use it, which I don't want them to. So I'm going to change that. This is the social interaction for when you're talking to another sim. So this is the code you use. This is the one everyone uses. This is the object interaction. So like I said, this is the video station code ID, and this is obviously the interactions that I made for it. And then this is the phone injector, so that is even added to the phone. And then this is for the rewards trait area. So I made a new trait that's specifically a reward trait, and then obviously that's the cost. The cost is nothing, and then obviously I have to say what kind of reward it is, blah 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 blah. And then this is the trait itself, and that's how you add reward traits to your game. I'm going to go back into our previous one. I'm going to show you guys how to add loot actions to phones and computers. Also going to show you guys how you can then inject it with the XML injector before we move on to the Law 51 website for the rest of the loot actions tutorial. Okay, so we are back in our package file. So I'm just gonna leave that there. I'll delete it later so it doesn't affect my game later. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is a computer interaction. So let's just search for something computer related. I don't know, let's just put that down. Let's add that to the package, and then let's see if I can find something phone related. Let's add that to the current package. So unlike the previous interaction, I'm going to change these ones because I want it to be unique, and I'll show you guys how that's done. So I guess this is a tutorial video for everything. Okay, so I'm going to change that as we usually do. So you go to tools, you go to hash generator, you go to, and then you write what you want this to be called. So I don't know, flirt, oh no, romance research. Okay, so we've written that. So now I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy it and then paste it to the computer. Oh, do you know what I should have done? Actually, no, that's fine. We'll do it for the phone. And then you get the 64, change it here, go up, go down, and you've got your tuning ID. You can check to make sure it's right. It's always right, but if you want it to be picky, you can just go to here and you can see it's the same. Okay, and then you go up and you change it here, so that makes this unique. Okay, and then you can do it for the phone. Let me do the same, but for phone. I'll put phone. Yeah, that'll do. And then let us go here. Anyways, and you do this. Go up, go down. There we go. Okay, so you then change this to make it unique. Now we're going to do what we did before. We're going to copy the tuning ID and then we're going to put it in the outcome. So I don't believe this one has one already. No, so we're going to put an outcome, but we're putting this somewhere else. We're not putting it there. We're going to leave that, obviously, so it's different. We don't pull it with this. You could, I don't. What I like to do is check, because guys, this interaction will only show up if you're in the science career. So let's get rid of that. Just get rid of that so we could test it in game. There we go. Right, so we now need to put the loot action. Okay, so for this one and the phone one, I believe is the same. What we're going to do is, we don't, unlike the social interaction, we don't just add it here. We need to make a loot list. Let me just show you guys where it goes. You have to make sure that, let me see, LUVL, so basic extra. Okay, so we're just going to close that for now, and then we're going to write our own, which is LN equals loot underscore list, close. We're going to then do T, put our ID, close the T, and then close the L. Close the T and then close the T. Okay, close the T and then close the L, put this back. And that is basically your loot action on the computer. And now we need to do the same on the phone. It's the exact same. So I'm just gonna copy this instead of writing it again. And then I'm gonna go down to phones. I'm gonna look for outcome. Where is outcome? Does this one not have one? We're gonna have to make one. Okay. Doesn't seem like this one does not seem to have an outcome. Trying to make sure I don't miss it. I don't think I have. It's usually around here. Okay, this one does not have an outcome. So this one does not have an outcome, which is annoying. So we're gonna have to write one, which really they want to show you guys how to do that. I'm gonna write one and then I'll show you guys what it looks like at the end. Okay guys, so I'm back. So I wrote one. As you can see, outcome, single, actions, loot list, and it's here. This one does not have one, but if you ever come across like an interaction that doesn't have a loot action but you want it to have a loot action, you can just put your own. It's fine. So I put it under here. Make sure you put it where, like, don't put it in the middle of this, for example. It just would not work. So put it where there's a closed tag, so you could move on to the next. You can see closed, yeah. So put it somewhere that makes sense. So we have not done it for phone, we have now done it for computer. Now what we need to do is we need to inject it so that we can see it in game. So to do that, we need to use the XML injector. You add and then you go to snippet. So you go to snippet. We're going to look for snip. I've missed it. There we go. Snippet tuning. And then obviously you need to make your own name with the hash generator. We've got one here and I can't use it because I've got this open. So let me close this. Let me close this. No, let me open that. And then get the name. Danitysimmer, romance, whatever. XML Injector. And then you get this. Because we then need to add it to our snippet tuning like so. Press OK. And here we go. So there's a PDF file which I'm going to bring up for you guys. So this is the XML Injector PDF. as you guys can see. So it will show you how you can add the injector to your game. So what we're going to do first is we're going to copy this, and then we're going to paste it into our document. But obviously we need to change the we need to close it. Please remember to close it. So close there we go. As you guys can see, the name and everything has changed, so we need to get that back because we copied it from the PDF, which has a different instance code and everything. So we need to get our stuff back. Right, let me change. So change the name and then change the oops, wrong one. Change the name, which is here. Oops, I just got focus. Okay, so change the name. Let's copy and paste it, and then let's go get the tuning ID and then change that as well. So make sure it's unique, guys. That one was literally just like an example one. So whenever you copy and paste it, make sure it's unique and make sure everything matches, which it does. Brilliant. That's what we like to see. So that's the beginning of our XML injector. Now we need to add interaction to phone and interactions to computer. So let's see what the PDF says. We're going to start with interactions to phone. So very simple. Is literally just copy this part, paste it. Now what we need to do is get this tuning ID and paste it here or whatever, it doesn't matter. Remove this because we don't need two, we need one. You can then put a comment if you wanted to. So for example, let's get the name so we know what all these numbers mean. If you ever go back to our mod, paste it, and literally that's it for phones. You've now added the interaction to the phone. Do you know why I didn't check what category? Because when I'm testing it, I need to know what I'm looking for. What category is this in? Okay, is it entertainment? Cool. Oh, let's change the name. Otherwise we're gonna have two browse wipes on there. So let's change it. So let's go to hash generator and change the name. Let's see, browse flirty. I'm literally just chatting right now. Browse flirty. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use the lot 51 website because I don't want to be going back and forth. So change that. Put in the hex code. Like so, and then change it on the string table like so that we know what's gonna come up. Let's do the same for the computer because right now I think it says research. Yeah, it says right research on there, so let's change that as well. So that's gonna be under career. Okay, let's save that. Okay, that has been saved. Right, okay, back to what we were doing. So if you were to go into game right now, it will show on the phone on the interaction browse flirty website. Now let's do it for the computer. So the computer one is different. Computer is an object, so we're going to be adding it to an object. So with PC is different. We are going to use add interactions to object because obviously the computer is an object and there's so many, but the one we're looking for is object with list or object list or what you want to call it. So copy this and then you can paste it to the same one if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. And then we do need to then change this to the computer object. Right now is linked to the trash bin. We can't do that. So I'm just going to copy and paste all the PCs that I've got on my other mod like so. Now what we need to do is get the super afforders, which is the interaction. So you can use where we go, you can just copy this part. As you guys can see, this is an example of the full did. So you could just copy this, paste it there, you paste it after the object. Sorry, my mind is like completely blank right now. So let me just double check. So L closes this object list, U closes this object list, V closes this. And now you've got the super folders, which is the computer. So we now need to get this to this and then get the name. So you can just put a comment on there. Okay, now I don't think I've closed everything. I just want to make sure. Oh, I missed something. I knew I was gonna miss something. So I missed these. I missed this part. So add objects to interaction, because right now it does not know we had added an object to an interaction. So I need to, because I literally just copied this and then copy the start tag. So that is the add object to interactions tag here. Okay, there we go. And now we need to close everything. So close the U and then close the L. So let me just make sure everything is closed. Make sure the phone is closed as well. So phone is add interactions to phone, and then we've got the interaction, and then it's closed. There's nothing fancy about that one. And then this one's add interactions to objects. Let's see, everything closes. Everything closes. And if I was to do this, everything closes. Okay, there we go. So we have now added this computer interaction to the object. This object, as you guys can see, that's going to be on the game, and we've added this phone interaction to this interaction as well. So if we were to go in game, because we've also added the loot action that we made into our interactions. That is it for the phone, and that is it for the computer. Now let's save this, get back into our game, and see what it looks like. Okay guys, we are back in game with our test body here, Greedy. So let's go into computer. I believe it was on the career. There we go. See, browse flirty website. Let's go see what it does, and let's see if it gives us the buff as well as the notification and the outcome. So let's see, the outcome is basically the end results of the interaction. It's not going to be as instant as a social interaction, so we have to wait. There we go. See, we have got our buff and we have also got our notification. Now let's check the phone. I think it was under entertainment. Yes, it was. So we've got browse flirty website. And then okay. Oh wait. Pause. Before it does it, let's get rid of this, because otherwise we won't get it anymore. Okay, there we go. Hey, and it worked. Yay. Oh, great. Okay, so as you guys can see, everything works as intended. I hope I was clear in regards to the XML injector thing. When I first started using it, it took me a bit of time before I understood what I was doing, but I hope I was clear enough. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Lot 51 website and show you guys the amount of things you can do with loot actions. Okay, so let's get going. Okay guys, we are back. We are on the Lot 51 website, and you guys can see I'm on the XML injector here. You can also do it through here if you don't want to like copy the what's it called, the PDF. You can just do it through here, just go through all the like steps and then pick, and then put the object ID here, and then put the interaction ID here, and then it will just do the rest for you. Okay, but I said I was going to show you guys all the loot actions. So let's search for loot actions here. So let's get going. So loot actions is just like with our other one, you select which one you want. So you guys are like, oh my god, I can't see anything. Yeah, there's a lot. So we've got the buff. You can remove buff with a loot action. A dynamic buff lot. You can see here, buff loot. It gives random buffs based on the weight. And then you've got notification here, just like before. And then you choose what kind of notification you want. A OK one, and then you just go down, and then you can select, you can say what you want the text to say if you don't want it to say OK. And then you've got the icon one as well, which is the one with an icon. I can explain it. And then you've got the yeah, that is notification. And then you can also use a loot action to give money. So let's say at the end of like a computer interaction, you want them to lose a certain amount of money. You just do the money action, the money loot action, you put it in literal, and you put the amount that you want them to lose, 70. Or you can put random, and you can put between this amount and that amount is how much you want them to gain or lose. Obviously gain is that, lose is that, obviously. You can also use a loot action to change a relationship. So you could give them a relationship bit. Here we go. So you can, I'm not going to go into too much details because there's just so many. So you guys know the kind of relationship bits. There's a game, and then you could choose what you wanted to do. You want to add this family parent relationship to the actor and the target sim, for example. You can do that with loot actions. You can do a statistic. There's so many statistics out there. That's another thing. There's so many statistics. You can change a relationship. This is not like relationship bit related. You can literally change a relationship. Let me see if I can find the relationship part. Yeah, so here, I don't know, I missed it. You can change your relationship by clicking on here. So you can give them higher friendship or lower friendship, whichever you want to do, between a range of, I don't know. And then you can also pick who you want the subject to be. It can be the target sim, it can be someone else, it can be, I don't know, it's up to you. So you can do a mighty lot. You can even give, so you know when oh no, not that, you know when you do like an event and you get gold, silver, bronze, a loot action is what gives you the rewards that you get from there. So object rewards, and then you can choose if you want this sim to be the owner of the object, or do you want it to go into the family inventory, or do you want it to go into the same inventory. And then you can also, even here, give it a specific notification, literally just right here, if you don't want to make another notification. And then this is where you choose what reward you're giving them. So many rewards out there, one of each, whatever you want to do. And then you pick what reward you want to do. So this is a specific definition. So you then put the object ID there. And yeah, there's just so much you could do with a loot action. Let me see if what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys, oh wait, yeah, I'm gonna show you guys some of the loot actions in my game, so I can show you guys in my mod, sorry, so I can show you guys the amount of loot actions they are. So we're gonna go into Sims 4 Studio. I've got it open already. So these are all my loot actions, these. So let's go. So this one is a buff loot action. So you get a buff. This one you get a buff. This one you get a buff and a reward, as you guys can see. This one you get a buff depending on the weight, or is random. So they can either get this or get this. It's completely random, 50-50. This one is a notification. This one is to remove a trait. So if you want to buff, so if you want a loot action to remove a specific trait, you could do that. And obviously you select who you want the trait to be removed from. This is to add iterate, if you want to give iterate to either the target sim, the actor sim, or the sims, you can do that as well. This is a statistic, so this is a social media statistic, statistic add, statistic remove. I'm literally out of breath. And then this is a notification, and then this is also an action. So if they were to get this blue action, they will get a notification, but they'll also get a reputation gain, just a very small one. This is a buff, as you can see, dynamic buff, which means it picks at random and it comes with a notification. So this one is, if the sim has this buff, they will get this notification. If the sim has this buff, they will get this notification. So that's something you can also do in your game. This is just a notification. This is a notification and a buff, and also money. You lose money, as you guys can see. You lose money in this one. And then drama nodes is also one you can put. So drama nodes are phone calls or text messages that your sim gets at random. So that's what they are. So if this loot action was to go through, they will get a phone call, a text message, I can't remember what this is, for the sim, and they'll also lose money and stuff like that. So this is just a notification. This is a dynamic buff. Let me see, notification. I think I did one where it's relationship. Let me see if I can find it. It's celeb. I think I called it celeb something. There we go. So this one, it gives them the has met relationship bit, and then it also changes the relationship status as well. So it makes you basically, it changes the friendship, so you get this amount of friendship added on top of, yeah you get this friendship added on top for the sim, the picked sim. So the reason why I said pick sim here is because it's linked to an interaction where before you get this loot action, you have to pick a sim. Once you've picked the sim and you've done what you need to do, the end result is this loot action. So the picked sim and the actor sim will get a friendship of this amount. Literally, that's what that is. I think that's probably the most complicated one I've done so far. There's also the relationship bit here. Oh yeah, this one, there's one that's got skills. There we go. So obviously I've got a custom skill in my mod. So this loot action changes the skill amount by a small percentage. Literally, there's a tiny, there's large. You can also do a career performance gain. So if they have this career, they will gain this amount of career performance points, as you can see by the stats here. There's also career loss, so that is obviously just putting a minus in front as a loot action as well. So I think there's one that's got object rewards yet. So this is just an object, they just get rewarded one of each. As you can see, quantity says 1, so they get one of these objects. So you can find out an object ID very easily. If you Google it, it'll show you how to do it. But yeah, so yeah, and that's literally it for loot actions. And also I sneaked in a bit of interactions there as well, if you guys noticed, and I sneaked in a bit of XML Injector in there as well. So hey, yeah, that's it for loot actions. So you can do so much with loot actions. I would advise you guys to go crazy with loot actions. Go crazy, obviously in context. I have a context for it. Don't just go crazy physically. I have a context for it, and then have fun literally making a loot action. So what I just showed you guys is how you can add it to an interaction. So if you want to make an interaction right now, you can go ahead and do it. Make an interaction, make a buff, make a notification, and then put it in your game. See how it works and have fun. Okay guys, so in the next video we are going to be working on interactions. I'm not gonna do computer and phone because I cannot touch up on it today, but I will do I'm not gonna do computer and phone because I touched on it today. I touched on social as well, technically speaking. If you guys still want me to talk a bit more about the social interactions, I can. But what I'm going to do in the next one is to show you guys how you can add an interaction to a debug item in the game. This is Danitysimmer saying bye. See you guys next time.